our sources define expensive in a way that,
Yeah.
I mean, I just hadn't really imagined it before this.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the price of a private jet or some penthouse suite. We are talking about the really granular shock of paying 35 euros. That's just under 40 US dollars for a simple bowl of vegetable broth.
With 3 croutons. We can't forget the 3 small croutons floating in it.
Right. And it's served to you at 2,000 meters altitude.
And that specific price point for that specific item, well, it just perfectly encapsulates what we're dissecting today, doesn't it?
It really does.
We were talking about Savoie in France, the department that represents, I mean, the absolute pinnacle, the ultimate global definition of ultra-high-end Alpine ski luxury.
And it's not even just the price tag that makes it an experience. It's the sheer, almost overwhelming spectacle of it all.
Oh, yeah. The spectacle is everything.
I mean, this is an environment where the aesthetic, the expectation, it almost demands that you bring a fur coat for your dog.
For your dog. Not
Yeah.
for you, for the dog.
Exactly. It's where you might find a major Russian industrialist quietly negotiating a deal while, rubbing shoulders with members of the British royal family.
And at the same time, this is, hands down, home to some of the most beautiful, most meticulously managed skiing on the planet.
But it's all wrapped in this intensely glittering and, to be honest, often offensively pretentious package.
Okay, so let's unpack this for the traveler. We need to zero in on a specific slice of the Auvergne-Rhône Alps region, nestled right there in the Western Alps.
Right.
When you plan a trip here, you're essentially entering one of 2.
Yeah.
Let's call them mega systems. These 2 systems entirely drive the winter tourism economy and, the sheer volume of skiers.
And system number 1 is, of course, Les Trois Vallées.
The 3 valleys.
This is that massive, seamlessly interconnected system that contains the big names, the ones everyone recognizes. Courchevel, Méribel, Val Thorens.
This is the 600 kilometers of connected piece that people dream about skiing.
And system number 2.
That's a space killie. It's a bit smaller, arguably more challenging, but equally high status. It's anchored by the stunning village of Val d'Isère and the, let's say, functional high-altitude hub of Teens.
So these aren't just resort destinations.
No, not at all. They're brands. They define what global luxury winter sports even means.
So what does this environment, this blend of phenomenal natural beauty and, let's call it aggressive consumerism, what does that mean for the serious traveler?
Well, that's our core mission for this deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
To pose and definitively answer that one central question. Is Savoie genuinely the undisputed pinnacle of winter travel, offering this unmatched infrastructure and an unforgettable experience?
Or is the entire operation at its heart just a calculated, soulless cash grab entirely covered in snow?
We spent a lot of time filtering through the sources, the receipts, the first-hand accounts, and, 3 key findings just consistently challenged our preconceived notions.
The aha moments.
Exactly, the moments that immediately reframe the entire trip for you.
Okay, so number 1.
We discovered that the finest food, the genuinely local, soulful, the non-rubberized culinary experience, it isn't found in those Michelin star palaces that are all over Courchevel 1850.
So where is it?
It's hidden away. In tiny, anonymous, local farmhouse shacks, often run by families that have been there for generations, and they actively, almost aggressively, try to hide from the massive flow of tourist traffic.
So you really need to know where you're going.
You need specific knowledge to find them, absolutely.
Okay, this next one is where it gets really interesting for anyone looking for those actionable budget hacks.
Number 2, this is the big one. We uncovered a fascinating geographical truth. By deeply understanding the region's specific valley access points and the lift routes, it is entirely possible to ski the exact same world-class 600-kilometer slopes that the billionaires are on.
But for how much less?
For only 10%, 1/10 of their overall weekly spend.
Wow. Okay, so that geographical knowledge is your most valuable asset.
It's everything.
The final, almost shocking surprise.
The highly anticipated, high-touch luxury service that you're paying top dollar for in the most expensive hotels and restaurants.
Yeah.
It's often, and sometimes openly, shockingly rude.
It's not just indifference, then.
No, it can be outright hostility. And that attitude you encounter from the people serving you can be a massive trip-defining downer.
Which leads directly to our major downside warning. You have to factor this into your decision-making.
You really do. You must be prepared for the distinct risk of hating the people you are surrounded by.
Both the other tourists and the staff.
Both the transient, wealthy clientele and the staff servicing them, yeah. The sheer, overwhelming concentration of the look-at-my-watch mentality is, well, it's more pervasive here than perhaps anywhere else we've ever deep dived into.
So let's make a bold claim right up front to set up the debate.
Go for it.
If you are an intermediate to advanced skier, someone who demands immense mileage, can confidently link turns, needs that sheer scale, is this the only place in the world truly worth visiting for the infrastructure alone?
I think calling it the only place is pushing it a little, but it certainly sets the benchmark, for sure. But that raises a really important question we have to answer for a huge segment of our audience.
Yeah.
If you're a beginner, or worse, a non-skier who's only there for the atmosphere, the scenery, the social status.
Should you just stay home?
Exactly. Is it a fundamental waste of your, significant money? And will the crowds just completely ruin your experience anyway?
We've got the numbers, the logistics, and the reality check on that authentic Alpine charm versus the industrial reality. Welcome to the deep dive. If we connect this to the bigger picture, why does Savoie absolutely dominate not only the ski industry, but, well, the entire winter social media feed?
It's because it perfectly embodies that aspirational, modern, old money aesthetic trend.
Right, it's a visual shorthand.
It is. It's the visual shorthand for effortless, inherited wealth, even if, let's be honest, most of the clientele are decidedly nouveau riche.
And the imagery is just flawless.
Flawless. It's perfect carving shots, and then it's someone impeccably dressed, drinking an 18-euro Aperol Spritz on a sun deck in Val d'Isère, with the sun setting behind these pristine peaks.
But that perfect visual, it's pure aggressive marketing. It's designed to sell a specific, tranquil dream.
It is, and it sets an expectation of a quiet, pristine winter wonderland filled with these quaint wooden chalets and roaring fires.
Which is not the reality.
The reality, as our sources starkly show, is that this entire operation is fundamentally and by necessity an industrial-scale tourism machine running at peak capacity.
Industrial is the key word there, isn't it?
It's the absolute crucial word we need to focus on.
Sure.
When you look at the ski terrain in the Trois Vallées, you are not looking at pristine wilderness anymore.
You're looking at something that's been changed.
You're looking at mountains that have been systematically terraformed, engineered to support this impossible level of volume, consistency, and safety.
Can you elaborate on what that engineering actually entails? I mean, it's more than just putting up a lift, right?
Oh, much, much more. It involves these massive, calculated interventions. We're talking about huge earthworks, literally grading slopes to ensure they're smooth, predictable, to minimize any bottlenecks.
So they're reshaping the mountain itself.
They are. Then there's the astonishing investment in snowmaking infrastructure. It covers pretty much every crucial lower altitude run, guaranteeing viability even in warmer winters.
And what about safety? Avalanches.
Critically, avalanche control. This system uses the most sophisticated technology available. We're talking remote-fired gas explosives to actively manage and mitigate natural hazards. It's an engineered ecosystem.
And the lift system itself, you said it's the best in the world. What does that efficiency actually look like on the ground?
Well, the statistics are just staggering. The Three Valleys is globally recognized for having almost zero flat spots.
So you're never stuck shuffling along.
Exactly. And they have consistently modern lifts, high-speed detachable chairlifts, massive gondolas, which means they could literally shift the population of a small city.
How many are we talking?
We are talking hundreds of thousands of skiers uphill per hour. That capability is the core reason they can maintain that 600-kilometer interconnected promise. It's designed for maximum throughput.
But that immense capacity, while it's efficient, brings us straight to the first necessary expectation check. The crowds. The chaos. Social media only ever shows you carving down a pristine, empty run. It suggests isolation, tranquility.
And that pristine run only exists in a very narrow, heroic window.
When's that?
Maybe right at 8:30 a.m. when the lifts first open. Or perhaps when the weather is so bad that only the truly dedicated are out there.
And the rest of the time.
By 10:30 a.m. on any decent day, especially in key areas like Maribel, which acts as the geographical hub connecting all three valleys, the slopes are absolutely packed.
I think our source described it vividly, and I think appropriately, as a refugee crisis on skis.
It's intense imagery, but it feels right.
Does that chaos only happen in Maribel, or does that density just spread across the entire system?
It spreads, but Maribel is the pressure point. It's the bottleneck. The vast majority of people need to pass through it to travel between Courchevel and Val Thorens.
So the main piece are like a motorway at rush hour.
Exactly. You are constantly on guard. You're actively dodging out-of-control skiers coming down too fast. You're navigating around terrified beginners stuck sideways. And critically, you're trying to avoid those massive, aggressive, organized ski school groups.
Ah, the ski schools, they move like brightly colored snakes, don't they? They just own the slope.
They do, and they are moving with purpose and priority. The sheer volume of people means your day is spent managing traffic, not just enjoying carving turns.
It's defensive skiing.
It's an exercise in defensive skiing, and this is a critical point for you, the listener.
Yeah.
You are buying access to the size, but you're also inheriting the sheer volume of humanity that comes with it.
And on the luxury aspect, I think a lot of people, especially those following trends like quiet luxury, they expect something refined, something subtle.
And Savoie delivers the precise opposite.
Savoie luxury is loud.
It is the deliberate, necessary show of wealth. It's the cost of entry, displayed visually. It's, look at my watch, look at my jacket, look at the size of the champagne bottle I just ordered, luxury. The subtler forms of wealth are just drowned out by the noise.
And the sources confirm this visible wealth display is directly proportional to the altitude.
It is.
If you go up to Courchevel 1850, as the altitude goes up, so do the prices and maybe the tackier the fashion gets.
Courchevel 1850 is a fascinating socioeconomic study. You'll see people walking around the main streets in full designer ski gear, logo heavy, Prada, Gucci, Fendi, Moncler, who have demonstrably never even touched a ski.
They're just there for the scene.
They are purely participating in the status aesthetic. The highest village, 1850, is the runway, and access to the best skiing is almost secondary to the social interaction there.
So the conclusion for the learner is crucial. You have to set your expectations accurately before you book.
You really do.
You are not going to a remote, tranquil, rustic mountain hideaway.
Not at all. You're going to a high-altitude, meticulously efficient city that functions almost entirely on pure adrenaline and staggering amounts of credit card debt. You are part of a spectacle.
That's it. That sense of scale and industrial efficiency is what you are paying for.
It is a machine designed to take maximum money from maximum people while delivering the maximum number of skiable kilometers.
But despite all the noise and the pretension and the crowds, we have to acknowledge the undeniable magic. When you catch that specific moment, when the late afternoon sun hits those highest peaks, casting that incredible Alpine glow.
Yeah.
And if the visibility is good, you can often see Mont Blanc in the distance. That visual is just undeniably pure spiritual magic.
It is. It's the visual payoff that justifies the entire exercise. That moment of true alpine majesty is available to everyone, regardless of what they paid for their chalet.
But you have to fight for it.
You just have to be prepared to fight for your space and your moment of peace within that magic.
Yeah.
Because there are thousands of other people fighting for the exact same view.
Okay, let's talk about the psychological and logistical impact of just arriving, because this is where the system immediately tries to trap you.
Track number one hits you right out of the gate. The transfer logistics from the airport.
Right.
For international travelers, flying into Geneva GVA is the standard, easy choice. But choosing GVA immediately sets you up for potential failure because of the notorious logistical nightmare of traffic.
We've heard about this firsthand. Can you explain the geography here? Why does it get so bad?
Well, the Tarentaise Valley is basically a single funnel. Almost all the major resorts, Courchevel, Maribel, Val d'Isère, Tignes, La Plagne, Les Arcs, they all rely on one main road that winds its way up.
And everyone's on it at the same time.
Everyone. So if you're taking a shared shuttle transfer, that journey, which should be about 2.5 hours, can often stretch to 4.5 hours, purely because of the sheer volume of cars, buses, and coaches all trying to get up the same hill.
The expensive alternative, the true Alpine luxury path, is to just bypass the traffic.
Right. You either book a costly private transfer, which can still get bogged down, but it's a bit faster, or for the ultimate efficiency and status.
A helicopter.
You take a helicopter directly to the nearest heliport.
And that drive itself, it's not exactly picturesque to begin with, is it?
No. Contrary to expectation, you spend a good portion of the Tarentaise Valley seeing industrial zones, gray factories, commercial hubs. It's not the postcard view.
And then you start the climb.
Then you start the climb, and you hit the famous hairpin turns.
If you're prone to motion sickness, you need to be seriously prepared.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe even medicated. It's 45 minutes of relentless, stomach-churning switchbacks during that final climb into the resorts. You gain altitude rapidly, and the air thins out so fast.
Speaking of thinning air, let's talk about altitude shock. We said Val d'Isère is at 1,850 meters.
Mm-hmm.
The immediate physical impact when you arrive is palpable. It's this damp, biting cold that just seeps into your bones, but more critically, the shortness of breath. You feel winded just carrying your luggage up one flight of stairs.
And this often contributes to really poor sleep quality for the first few nights. People wake up gasping because the dry, thin air irritates your throat, and your body just hasn't acclimated to processing oxygen efficiently at that height.
It's a real practical reality check that hits you before you even see a slope.
And then you look around, and the architectural aesthetic provides this interesting, often jarring contrast.
Like Val d'Isère.
Val d'Isère has done a remarkably successful job of preservation. It's maintained that beautiful, traditional stone and wood, slightly chocolate box aesthetic that people dream of.
But then you have Courchevel 1850.
Yeah.
Courchevel 1850, unfortunately, looks exactly like a shopping mall crashed into a glacier.
That's a good way to put it. It's sterile.
You walk down the main street, and it's a constant aggressive barrage of high-end brands. Prada, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Moncler, all lined up, just competing for your attention. It felt utterly soulless to me, devoid of any real mountain village history or charm.
It's pure commerce.
Pure commerce. And this high commercial density feeds directly into that psychological barrier we talked about earlier.
The feeling of being actively unwelcome.
Exactly. Even walking into a mid-range, very nice 4-star hotel, not a palace, but still costing thousands, I noticed the staff immediately just looked us up and down.
I felt the same. There's a palpable assessment of your net worth the moment you step into the common areas of these resorts.
Are you wearing the right gear? Did you arrive in the right car?
Are you here to spend, or are you just here to look?
Yeah.
It's a very uncomfortable feeling of being constantly evaluated against some unspoken standard.
And this is the root of that shockingly rude service.
It has to be. When you have a clientele that rotates every 7 days and the demand for space is astronomically high, the staff often don't prioritize courtesy.
They prioritize efficiency.
Efficiency and ensuring you drop your money quickly. If you don't look like a high roller, the incentive to be charming just disappears.
You're treated less like a guest and more like a necessary transaction. But that psychological discomfort, it does dissolve, if only for a moment when you finally get your ski pass, clip your boots in, and take that first lift up the mountain.
That's the moment of pure emotional justification.
Yeah.
The sheer scale of the operation hits you. You look out and you see endless, perfectly groomed perfection stretching to the horizon. It's a feeling of deep security.
You realize you are paying for the guarantee that the lift will open, the snow will be immaculate, and the system won't fail you.
The infrastructure is so incredibly robust, you feel safe. You feel that you can truly conquer the world's largest interconnected skiing area without worrying about some logistical breakdown.
And that feeling lasts.
Until, of course, the time comes to buy that bottle of water or that first lunch, and the industrial reality of the prices hits you once again.
All right, let's be absolutely brutal and forensic about costs and value. Let's just state the central truth clearly. This is empirically one of the most expensive leisure trips you can take on the planet today.
Short of maybe a private expedition to the South Pole.
Right. To give the listener context, that 35-euro burger means your quick, on-the-go lunch costs the same as a nice 3-course dinner back home in any major city.
The price points are designed to shock, and they successfully corner you because you are literally miles from any affordable alternatives. You have no choice.
So let's start with the primary cost driver, accommodation. If you want that true Instagram luxury experience, staying in a 5-star ski and ski out hotel in Courchevel 1850 or Val d'Isère, you are realistically looking at a minimum range of 10,000 to 25,000 euros per week.
And that is just for a standard double room, not a suite.
Not a suite. And if you target the absolute pinnacle, the officially designated palace hotels like Cheval Blanc or Les Arels,
Then you have to accept a non-negotiable minimum starting price of 4,000 euros a night.
a night.
A night. And you're often required to book a full week, which drives the price well over 28,000 for 7 nights.
So what if you try to slide down the scale to what we generously call mid-range luxury? A nice, high-quality 4-star.
You're still easily paying 3,000 to 5,000 euros a week. And that price is driven by the status of the address and the pure convenience of access.
This is where that price stratification comes in, which is critical for our listeners. why is Courchevel 1850 so much more expensive than, say, Billionaire, even though they share the same lift system?
It's the combination of visibility and convenience. 1850 is the highest, most visible, most snow-sure village in Courchevel. It offers guaranteed ski and ski out access from December to April.
And Billionaire.
Well, while it has great access to Val Thorens, it's architecturally less appealing, more concrete block than Chalet, and it's geographically lower, so it's less status-driven. You are paying for the address, the visual appeal, and the proximity to the designer boutiques.
Now let's talk about the major trap, food costs. The pricing for food on the slopes is designed for maximum extraction.
Maximum extraction, I like that. Even the most basic items are inflated by several %.
So that cheap pizza at a slopeside cafeteria is 28 euros.
The basic burger, 35. A bowl of chips is 12 euros.
If you dare to stop for a coffee, you're looking at 6 euros. A small bottle of still water, easily 8.
And if you opt for a main course at a more established, nicer slopeside spot, like the famous Le Cap Horn in Courchevel,
Oh boy.
the dishes will routinely run you 60 to 90 euros.
Oh boy.
And the wine list, it starts at 80 euros a bottle for standard house wine, and then just goes up dramatically from there into the thousands.
So based on our research, the estimated daily budget for food and drink alone per person, if you're doing the full luxury style.
Eating out for lunch and dinner, you're looking at around 300 euros a day.
And if you're really tactical, aiming for a mid-range experience, maybe sharing a dish, drinking water.
You might manage 100 a day, but that's still 700 euros a week just for food.
What's genuinely fascinating, though, and a bit of a relief, is that the one area of genuine surprising value is the lift pass itself.
Yeah, that's the strange part. A 6-day Three Valleys pass is approximately 375 euros.
For access to 600 kilometers of terrain, that is truly excellent value. Why is it so relatively cheap?
Volume. And it's likely a strategic decision to keep the price barrier low on the essential element. Compared to similar scale U.S. resorts like Vail or Aspen, where passes can be 150 to 200 euros per day, the French pass is significantly cheaper.
So the pass is the magnet.
The pass is the magnet. They make their money back on accommodation, food, and high-end services, not the lift access.
Okay, let's provide the learner with that actionable traveler budget matrix. We'll break it down into 3 financial bands.
All right. Band 1, the baller budget.
Okay.
This is defined as 15,000 euros plus per person per week. This budget requires zero self-sufficiency.
So it was full server.
Full service. Ski in, ski out hotels, private chauffeur transfers, personalized ski guides, daily high spending après-ski at places like La Folie Douce, and regular Michelin-starred dinners. It's a status spend. Convenience and exclusivity are the only metrics.
Right. Now, band 2, the smart mid-range.
This is where most serious skiers will land. It's about 2,500 to 3,500 per person per week.
But to achieve this, strategic sacrifices are required.
Absolutely. You must stay in those satellite villages we mentioned, Les Menuires, Les Alus, Tignes-Lac, which are slightly less central or less glamorous.
You also have to rely on shared transfers.
And critically, you have to use apartment cooking. Booking a self-catered apartment means you can prepare your own breakfast and pack affordable tactical lunches, shielding you from those outrageous 28 euro resort markups.
You're buying time back by spending a bit more on transfers, but you're saving a huge amount on daily food costs.
Precisely. And finally, the one everyone asks for.
Band 3, the rat budget, the extreme budget hack.
We estimate this at 1,200 euros per person per week. This is the 10% solution we teased earlier.
But this requires maximum commitment to frugality.
And the understanding of that specific geography we promised to detail. You must stay in the valley towns, specifically Brides-les-Bains or Bourg-Saint-Maurice.
These towns are on the valley floor, far from the resort glitz, so accommodation costs just plummet.
And this is the genius geographical maneuver. Brides-les-Bains has a massive modern gondola that takes you directly up to Maribel in about 25 minutes.
And Bourg-Saint-Maurice.
It has a funicular connecting it to Les Arcs. You're using the resort's own infrastructure to access the top-tier skiing while paying valley floor prices for living.
And your food budget is just supermarket sandwiches.
Supermarket sandwiches, cheap pastries, snacks bought from Carrefour or Lidl in the valley, and you drink tap water exclusively. You sacrifice the ambiance, the convenience, the après-ski, but you get access to the same 600 kilometers of slopes for a fraction of the cost.
That is how you execute the 10% hack.
That's it.
Now let's ask the core question on value. Is the value proposition there for the high end?
I'm going to say Categorically no. If we analyze the cost of luxury, the difference between a €500 a night high-quality chalet and a €4,000 a night hotel in Courchevel 1850 is absolutely not 8 times the quality of the material experience.
The beds aren't 8 times more comfortable.
The beds are not 8 times more comfortable, the food is arguably worse, and the room isn't 8 times larger. You are purely paying a significant, often astronomical, premium for exclusivity.
The cost of knowing that the person next to you paid the same.
Exactly. And the cost of not having to mix with the budget travelers who are cleverly using the bride's Le Bon's hack.
So what's the sweet spot?
While the service in the palaces might be, telepathic, they warm your boots, they unpack your luggage, our sources suggest that the optimal value sweet spot is the mid-range bracket, specifically using the catered chalet model.
For those unfamiliar with that model, particularly in North America, what exactly is a catered chalet and why does it mitigate that high-cost risk?
A catered chalet is typically a full house rental, often run by specialized British or European operators. Yeah. Crucially, the cost includes a dedicated host or staff.
Okay.
This means your fixed price includes daily cleaning, a prepared breakfast, often cooked afternoon tea and cake, and a substantial multi-course dinner. And usually unlimited house wine is provided.
Ah, I see the genius. It acts as an economic shield.
Precisely. By booking a catered chalet, you pay one fixed, predictable price upfront that locks in your food and drink costs for most of the trip. It effectively shields you from the constant price traps of the €50 burger and the €15 beer that are unavoidable when you're eating out in the main resort centers every single day.
It eliminates the constant stress of the walking wallet syndrome.
It does. It just lets you relax and enjoy the skiing.
Now we need to address the practicalities. Let's smooth out the planning process by detailing the logistics and planning traps. This region is surprisingly difficult to navigate despite its sophistication.
Because everyone else is trying to navigate it at exactly the same time.
Right. So, trap number 1 revisited. The airport choice.
We established that most people default to Geneva, GVA, which inevitably leads to horrific traffic congestion. Everyone from France, Switzerland, and Italy is heading there.
So what's the smart maneuver here? What's the fix?
Our research suggests 2 smart workarounds. First, actively look at flying into Lyon LYS.
Okay.
It's often significantly cheaper. The drive time is roughly the same as GVA. But critically, Lyon experiences slightly less traffic chaos because fewer people use it as a primary gateway to the Tarentaise Valley.
And the second option?
Second, if you're traveling from London or a major European hub, consider the ski train, which goes directly to Bourg-Saint-Maurice. But be warned, these tickets are released months in advance and they sell out in minutes.
Do you have to be ready?
You need hypervigilance, maybe set up automated alerts to secure them, but they offer the single most relaxing way to arrive.
Trap number 2, the infamous Black Saturdays. This is when everything just turns to gridlock.
The French rental cycle is Saturday to Saturday. It's a mandate.
Which means every single arrival and every single departure happens on the same day.
Turning the main road up the Tarentaise Valley into a 4-hour parking lot for just 15 kilometers of distance. It's soul-crushing.
I read one account from a family who, after a 7-hour flight, spent the next 4 hours in gridlock just staring at the same kilometer marker. They arrived too late for dinner, too exhausted to unpack.
And that's a common story. The smart workaround is to do whatever you can to break the cycle. Arrive on a Sunday, leave on a Friday.
And if you're forced into a Saturday transit,
you must target non-peak hours. Either aim to arrive at the airport at 6 a.m. or schedule your departure for 10:00 p.m. Do not travel midday on Saturday or you risk missing your flight entirely.
Okay, trap number 3, the connectivity lie. The advertising promise is ski in, ski out.
The reality, especially in the late season like March or April, or during low snow periods, is that the lower resorts deplete their snow base, often below 1,600 meters.
So that pristine skiing experience quickly becomes an unpleasant mud walk-in.
Where you're carrying heavy gear over exposed tarmac and mud patches. It's not glamorous.
The fix?
Always check the specific altitude of your accommodation. If you are booking in April, do not stay in lower areas like Maribel Village or Les Allues. You have to book high.
Althorans or Teeny?
Reliable bets. They are functionally higher cities that guarantee snow depth, often sleeping at 2,100 meters or above.
Let's discuss gear strategy. If you're doing the luxury or mid-range trip, what's the advice?
The consistent advice is, do not bring your own skis. The hassle of flying them outweighs the benefit.
Why is that?
Because the rental gear in the top shops in Val d'Isère and Courchevel is consistently brand new, current season, high-performance equipment. It's probably better than what you own.
And the financial hack here is critical.
Always PRB book your rentals online. The resort ski shops thrive on trapping last-minute travelers.
So what's the price difference?
If you walk into a shop in Courchevel asking for gold-level skis, they'll charge you €50 a day. That's $350 for the week. Pre-booking online routinely cuts that cost in half, down to $25 a day.
So you're saving €175 immediately.
For the exact same equipment, just booked in advance.
Timing is also non-negotiable. Major warning. Do not book your trip during February.
No. That is when France and the UK have their major school holidays. The slopes have become a zoo, lift lines swell to 45 minutes, and all prices across the board. Accommodation, lessons, rentals, they just double.
The golden times.
Mid-January. Cold, reliable snow, virtually no crowds or kids, and the lowest prices of the season outside of early December. Or mid-March for slightly better weather and those long sunny lunches. But the snow might be a bit slushy in the afternoons.
Now for safety and comfort, it's not just about the mountain, is it?
No, it's about the socioeconomic environment. First, crime. In the high-end spots like Courchevel and Val d'Isère, be vigilant. There are professional gangs that actively target the après-ski crowds.
Specifically the ones showing off.
Exactly. This means leaving anything visibly expensive, especially high-end watches or conspicuous jewelry at home. These gangs know people are drunk, relaxed, and wearing high-value items, making them easy targets for pickpocketing or distraction theft.
And this is a known, cyclical issue every season.
Every season. Also, general gear theft. Never leave your skis unsecured outside a restaurant. Not even for a quick bathroom break.
So use a lock.
Use a small, lightweight lock, or at minimum, use the common trick of splitting them.
What's that?
You put one ski on one rack, and it's made on a completely different rack, far away.
Oh.
A thief might grab one high-end ski, but they're unlikely to spend time searching all the other racks for the matching pair. It just neutralizes the opportunity for a quick grab.
Health issues start with altitude. Val Thorens, you said you sleep at 2,300 meters.
The air is dry and thin. It is highly common to experience headaches, insomnia, a dry throat, and to wake up gasping for air as your body struggles to adapt.
The key workarounds.
If you have existing heart issues or high blood pressure, consult a doctor beforehand. For everyone else, hydration is paramount. Drink double what you think you need, and critically severely limit alcohol consumption on the first night.
Alcohol makes it worse.
It exacerbates dehydration and significantly reduces your body's ability to acclimate to the altitude.
And the sheer volume of people contributes to collision risk.
Which is statistically the #1 safety hazard on the piste. And this risk peaks specifically on the home run trails, leading back into the villages around 4:30 p.m.
Why specifically 4:30 p.m.?
Because the sun has dipped, the pistes are now icy and shadowed, and they're packed full of tired, aggressive, and often very drunk people trying to descend quickly to the après-ski spots.
The perfect storm for a high-velocity crash.
Which can lead to serious injury. So the fix is simple. Download.
Take the gondola down.
Take the final stretch via the gondola. This isn't just about avoiding drunk teenagers. It's about saving your knees from the icy conditions and avoiding that potential collision chaos. There is absolutely no shame in preserving your body and energy at the end of a long, expensive day.
Finally, a quick instructor scam warning.
Beware of people posing as private instructors on social media or approaching you directly. They often lack proper insurance or qualifications.
So only book through recognized institutions.
ESF, the École du Ski Français, or the popular Oxygen School. If someone asks for cash or direct WhatsApp payments outside of these structured systems, it's highly likely a scam, and you risk getting poor service and no recourse.
Let's turn the corner and discuss the emotional scorecard. We need to balance the magical moments that cut through the chaos with the major disappointments that define that cash grab feeling.
This is where the soul, or lack thereof, of Savoie really reveals itself.
And what's fascinating is how often the best, most memorable moments are found in these quiet, simple acts of discovery.
Usually away from the main lift infrastructure and the commercial centers.
My best moment was entirely centered on seeking silence in Val d'Isère. We took the Lycière chairlift.
Oh, that famous one that goes straight up and over a sheer ridge like a slow-motion roller coaster?
Exactly. As you drop over the other side into this silent, hidden valley, the noise of the entire resort, the music, the shouting, the snowmobiles, it all just vanished.
That momentary isolation is rare and precious in that environment.
It was incredible. It was just white peaks and the sound of the wind moving over the snow. We skied down to a tiny, quiet refuge called Le Signal for a world-class blueberry tart, and for that short time, it felt like the entire magnificent Alps were truly ours alone.
You had to earn that piece.
You really did. What about you?
My best moment was entirely logistical, which I think speaks to the specific kind of joy this region offers.
Okay.
I managed to execute a perfect link-up from the far side of Courchevel all the way across the system to Velforens.
That's a 60-kilometer day. It requires planning and perfect timing.
It does. I used an app to meticulously track lift wait times, ensuring we didn't wait in a single line the entire day. And we ate a packed tactical lunch for €4 on a sun-drenched rock overlooking the Aiguille de Fruit.
A priceless view.
Priceless view, perfect snow, and the logistical victory of conquering the system felt intensely satisfying and much, much cheaper than the high rollers day.
Now for the letdowns. My greatest disappointment, illustrating that cash grab feeling, was the mandatory but entirely overrated Folie Douce experience.
Ah, the après-ski party. That open-air mountaintop club on the slopes, dancers, singers, champagne spraying, deafening music. It's an institution.
It was fun for maybe 10 minutes, fueled by the initial novelty, but then you realize the entire experience is profoundly dystopian.
Dystopian.
You are standing ankle-deep in slush and spilt drinks, surrounded by screaming 20-year-olds in expensive goggles. The music is so loud your ears genuinely hurt, and you're queuing up to pay €15 for a warm beer.
Or 200 for a bottle of basic champagne. It's the business model. Selling status and momentary excess at altitude.
Exactly. It felt exactly like the Capitol in the Hunger Games. An artificial, frantic, ostentatious display of mandatory consumption. It lacks any genuine warmth or spontaneity. It's manufactured chaos.
My core disappointment, which speaks directly to our initial surprise, came back to the service. We had a dinner in Maribel, a supposedly highly recommended slopeside spot. The bill was €180 for 2 people, without wine. We waited 40 minutes past our reservation time. The waiter was openly hostile, treating every request as a massive imposition, and the fondue. It was rubbery and flavorless.
You felt that psychological barrier again.
Intensely. I felt like a mark, a walking wallet, purely there to drop money without expecting any commensurate quality, respect, or even common courtesy.
And that feeling that you paid a king's ransom only to be treated poorly is a deeply dissatisfying emotional equation.
And it's pervasive in the core luxury villages.
So if the combination of crowds, cost, and sometimes hostile service proves too much, and you want to manage that psychological cost, let's explore the viable alternatives.
Alternative 1. The Dolomites in Italy. Specifically the Alta Badia or Cortina areas. The culture offers a massive and immediate difference.
Better food.
Infinitely better food, truly exceptional Italian and Latin cuisine, and about half the price of Savoie.
The scenery is dramatically different too, isn't it?
Yeah. You see the unique, striking red rock formations, the Dolomites, which glow pink at sunset? The overall culture is significantly warmer, more family-oriented, more welcoming. People genuinely seem happy you are there.
The trade-off.
The skiing, while beautiful, is not as seamlessly or extensively linked as the 600 kilometers of the Three Valleys, and snow reliability can be slightly lower in the early season.
Alternative 2.
St. Anton, Austria. This is the option if your primary criteria are hard, steep, aggressive skiing and a superior, more traditional party culture.
More beer, less champagne.
More beer, less champagne. The après-ski scene is better, more focus on rowdiness and genuine connection, and far less pretense and ostentation. The trade-off is clear, though. The terrain is challenging.
Not for beginners.
Absolutely not suitable for beginners. It's steep and often icy, and the town atmosphere is generally rowdy, focused on partying, not geared toward a peaceful retreat or high-end dining.
And if you still want the sheer scale and reliable snow of the French Alps but need a budget or aesthetic escape,
you look at the French budget hacks and combo itineraries. You could fly into Lyon and then drive to a smaller, more traditional resort like La Clusaz or Megève.
Megève has that Rothschild history, doesn't it?
It does, so it retains a historical luxury feel, and the food tends to be better and more traditional. Crucially, it feels like a real village, not an engineered ski factory.
And then there's the ultimate rat budget hack we mentioned, Orel, the back door to the Three Valleys.
It's a tiny village located right on the motorway side of the range. Because of its location and zero resort ambiance, accommodation costs are genuinely 1/4 of the price of Val Thorens or Courchevel.
You drive in, stay cheap, take a massive gondola up.
And boom, you are immediately in the highest, most snow-sure part of the Three Valleys system.
The functional beauty is undeniable. But what is the downside?
The downside must be stressed. There is absolutely nothing to do at night. No nightlife, no high-end restaurants, often not even a dedicated bar beyond a small hotel pub. You are effectively living in a functional parking lot to save money.
Which is fine if your priority is 100% focused on maximizing time on the world's best slopes.
Exactly.
Time for the final verdict matrix. We need custom, explicit advice for every traveler type, pulling together all the facts we've gathered.
Let's start with the backpacker, the traveler prioritizing low cost, high adventure, and authenticity.
Verdict. And no, absolutely not. The food costs alone will financially ruin your trip, even if you use the valley floor hacks. Even the hostels are overpriced.
You are much better off heading to places where the currency exchange favors you, like Bansko in Bulgaria or the Tatras in Slovakia. You will have more authentic fun for a tenth of the cost.
Next, the mid-range couple serious skiers, willing to spend, but prioritizing value and quality.
Verdict. Maybe. And it's a big maybe. This is only a sensible choice if you are both serious, mileage-hungry skiers who need that 600 kilometers of interconnected terrain.
If you're seeking romance, ambiance, a warmer culture,
Choose Austria or Switzerland, maybe Grindelwald. If you do choose Savoie, you must book a catered chalet in a satellite village, Les Alus or Le Praz, to shield yourself from the daily high cost of living.
the family. This is a complex calculation of cost versus convenience.
Verdict, yes, but with major conditions. The ski schools here, the ESF and Oxygen, are universally recognized as the best, safest, and most professional in the world for children. However,
Booking all the elements separately is logistically stressful and financially risky.
it is. The family hack here, and it is a brilliant one, is using the Club Med system in the Alps. Their all-inclusive model passes, lessons, gourmet food, drinks, and supervised childcare consolidates the astronomical costs into one predictable lump sum.
It saves significant money and sanity compared to the constant nickel and diming of self-booking.
It really does.
Finally, the luxury traveler. If the pursuit of the high-end experience is the goal,
Verdict, yes. If money is genuinely no object, and you prioritize status, the globally peak level of grooming, infrastructure, service integration, and Michelin stars, this is the destination. No one does the industrial-scale five-star experience better.
but with caution.
Be prepared for the omnipresent nouveau riche vibe, which may dilute the refinement you're looking for.
So on our final scorecard for Savoie, assessing that conflict between perfection and pretension.
For skiing logistics and infrastructure perfection, the engineering, the guaranteed snow, the lift capacity, it is an undeniable, undisputed 10-10.
For the soul and the town vibe, considering the crowds and the commerce, I'm sticking with a 4-10, and that feels generous.
I think the mountains themselves rescue that score slightly. The actual peaks and views are spiritual, even if the towns are sterile. I'd edge the soul score up to a 6-10 for the sheer majesty of the scenery alone.
Best timing for the perfect experience, combining good snow and low crowds. The third week of January.
Best base recommendation: Val d'Isère for the better village aesthetic and historical charm, or Maribel for unbeatable connectivity across the entire Three Valleys system.
That is the script. We've delivered the reality check, the hacks, and the mornings.
Final reminder for the road: do not buy the 35-euro burger.
And lock your skis. Seriously.
So we leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over.
Hmm.
We've established the logistical perfection and immense scale that Savoie offers. But we have also detailed the widespread rudeness and the constant pressure of conspicuous consumption.
At what financial and, more importantly, psychological point does the pursuit of this status travel destination diminish the true, simple joy of the trip?
When does the destination's perfection lead to the overwhelming psychological cost of constantly feeling like a mark, a walking wallet, or an object of financial assessment in the face of widespread snobbery?
That true cost of exclusivity must be factored into your travel planning. If the rudeness outweighs the perfect snow, maybe the Dolomites are calling.
Next week, we're switching continents and tackling the massive complexities of Tokyo.
Is it really the overwhelmingly crowded, impossible maze that travel blogs claim? Or are you just going to the wrong places and missing the local gems?
Stay tuned. Safe travels and happy skiing.